What's up, guys? It's Friday, and so you know what time it is. Time for What the Fitness. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, put a comment in for the algorithm. All right, so every week I feel like another influencer expert tells us another food we can't eat or another food that's gonna kill us. I'm pretty sure by the end of this year, we'll be left with basically ice chips as to what we can eat. But then again, don't some people say like cold water is bad for digestion and slows down your metabolic rate, so we should have warm water? Oh, and you can't have it sitting down, you need to drink it standing up because otherwise it's gonna affect your digestion. But you don't really need to worry about that anyway because you can't eat any food because they're all gonna kill you. So basically, I think water's safe and you can probably drink it sitting down since you don't care about digestion, since you're not digesting anything anyway, since every single food is going to kill you. We're just gonna fast ourselves into immortalization. Let's see what food this week we can't have.
Your doctor told you to eat oatmeal and banana every morning. Well, here's what that does in the morning.
Not really, but like I don't think my doctor's ever been like, I've got it, oatmeal and banana. So he's already setting up this like anti-medical establishment and your doctors want to make you sick so that they can prescribe you drugs. And listen, I'm not saying that medical malpractice doesn't exist, and I'm not saying there's not some horrible doctors out there. Absolutely they are. With the last name Hyman. Sometimes they give really bad advice, or even worse, they don't even really listen to you when you go in the doctor's office. But like this whole, like, so your doctor told you to eat oatmeal and banana. I've never actually heard somebody specifically say, my doctor told me to eat oatmeal and banana. Anyway, he's setting up the whole anti-medical establishment argument.
See, oatmeal and banana will spike your glucose levels. Now I put a chocolate chip cookie here to give you a reference. And you see that
He's gonna talk about how it spikes your blood glucose levels, and then when they fall down, you start to go hypoglycemic, you get hungry. Funny enough, the cookie doesn't actually make you go hypoglycemic, but actually, if we look at it, the banana and oatmeal doesn't appear to take your blood glucose below the fasting levels. But obviously, I don't know what paper he's referencing because, funny enough, these guys often don't cite their sources. Wonder why that might be. Probably because they're scared somebody like me will look them up and point out how their argument actually is.
cause crashes which trigger hunger, causing you to eat more food. Now all day you're on this roller coaster of spiking crashes, making you lose control, causing you to eat more food, make it harder.
So this whole hypoglycemic overeating argument, that was like popular in the 90s and was debunked multiple times. Anybody who's ever actually been hypoglycemic, it's not so much that you're hungry, you just feel like really faint and shaky, and if you eat food, it helps. Now, there are a certain percentage of the population who have what's called reactive hypoglycemia, and they do need to worry about this kind of stuff from the perspective that it can make their blood sugar crash a little bit, and they can get real shaky or pass out. This is not what drives hunger for the majority of people, and I'll show that here in a minute.
Harder for you to lose weight, you get more cravings for sugar and salt, you get aches and pains and migraines.
So funny enough, he's not showing any references that actually point to the fact that oatmeal and banana make you overeat. He's showing a diagram of insulin resistance and what the outcomes are. By the way, actually, insulin resistance doesn't necessarily increase appetite. Insulin resistance is the product of overeating, which it's funny that he mentioned that you eat more. It's almost like you're saying that calories are a problem. So he's basically like making these leaps to do mental gymnastics to get you to follow his argument, but there's no connection between these leaps. He's just assuming that you will buy into his bullshit. Unless oatmeal and banana immediately makes you insulin resistant, him showing that chart means absolutely nothing.
Dad, look what protein, fiber, and fat does to your blood sugar. But what blows my mind
What fiber? Well, I guess avocado has a little fiber.
Is that doctors will tell you to avoid eggs because it causes high cholesterol. When the liver becomes insulin,
Most doctors that I know of haven't really said that in like the last 20 years because total cholesterol doesn't appear to be a risk factor for heart disease, while LDL cholesterol specifically is an independent risk factor for heart disease, but eggs don't really elevate LDL cholesterol that much. So I think eggs are fine. I think a lot of physicians are cool with eggs. So again, he's kind of like, your doctors lied to you, and that's why you can't trust them. But you should trust me, the dude with no background on TikTok.
insulin resistant, it starts pumping out cholesterol and triglycerides because it's trying to clear out the sugar. And 88%.
Wait, it starts pumping out cholesterol and triglycerides because it's trying to clear out the sugar. how does that even work? What is the actual relationship between that? If you increase your fat mass and also your liver fat mass, which happens during, overeating over a sustained period of time, what tends to happen is you are creating so much substrate for your bloodstream that cannot be cleared that it elevates the blood levels of these things. Your liver doesn't pump out cholesterol and triglyceride to try to clear sugar. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But again, for people who don't know the actual physiology of this stuff, his argument may seem legitimate because he's doing Olympic level mental gymnastics in order to get you there.
8% of adults are going through these symptoms. Blows my mind.
So he said 80% of adults are going through these symptoms. The article he's showing is 80% of people are metabolically unhealthy. Now let's go all the way back to his original argument, which is that oatmeal and banana are somehow causing this? Like, what data do you have that oatmeal and banana are causing you to be metabolically unhealthy? Like, this is like Kerry Strug level Olympic gymnastics. Just because I'm stopping this, I'm actually kind of able to follow his scatterbrained mental gymnastics. But for people watching this, I could see how they might be like, oh yeah. So again, this is just rife with logical fallacies and, quite frankly, nonsense.
Mind how doctors don't tell us about this.
Oh, and then ends it up with doctors don't tell us about this. Actually, I'm pretty sure most doctors tell you, hey, if you eat too much and don't do enough activity, it's not good for you and you could become insulin resistant. But apparently this dude thinks it's oatmeal and bananas. What I like to look at is the actual randomized human control trials where they examine this sort of stuff. His ridiculous argument is that these things are going to cause your blood sugar to spike up, crash, you're going to overeat, and become insulin resistant from that. If we actually look at oatmeal intake in randomized human control trials, what we see is it actually decreases food intake. A banana, as far as fruit goes, isn't the most satiating fruit out there, but it also is not a low satiety food. Yeah, just all these people out here like, oh my God, I almost had my diabetes under control, but I just couldn't stop eating oatmeals and bananas. My wife's laughing in the background. I got a good chuckle out of her. Even she thinks your argument is absurd, and she's the nice one out of the two of us. And she'd probably still say that you're a f***ing moron. Oatmeal isn't going to cause you to become insulin resistant. Bananas are not going to cause you to become insulin resistant. It's because people are eating too much and not doing enough activity. I know that's very triggering in today's society. Quite honestly, that's how a lot of these guys get followings, because they're like, it's not your fault, it's your doctor's fault, because they want you to be sick so that they can give you drugs. Yeah, if only doctors had told us that we probably shouldn't eat too much and be said, oh wait, they've been telling us that for 70 years. I don't know. This isn't like the worst argument. I mean, at least the guy can like speak and form complete sentences. That's more than I can say for some of these idiots. If this was the Olympics for mental gymnastics, this guy would be world champion. All right, guys, if you liked the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next week.